Recently, a thread centering around Vivziepop went viral on Twitter. This thread shows many images of Vivziepop being problematic. Today, I'm going to share the following images in the thread. There's a lot to unpack here. I honestly can't believe what I've read either while making this video. So I'm going to summarize the majority of the images that I'm aware of one by one. If you want to read them for yourselves, I suggest pausing the images once they are shown. The first image is Vivziepop talking about a fan of hers. Vivziepop made fun of the cartoon the fan was creating, calling it off-putting, and told the other user that the fan was ashamed for being a woman. However, Vivziepop dismissed it and even questioned what was wrong with being female. The following images show Vivziepop bad-mouthing a person named Kira. I believe the person who Vivziepop is referring to is Kira Kupetsky, because in this image, Vivziepop mentions a BuzzFeed segment, now YouTube channel called Good Advice Cupcake. Kira Kupetsky is the lead animator and vocalist of Good Advice Cupcake and happens to be the creator of Chicken Nugget. Vivziepop admits that she was feeling petty over the fact that Kira was working for BuzzFeed, and instead of supporting Kira for her success. All Vivziepop does is insult Kira, saying that BuzzFeed is known for clickbait stuff and is fake in terms of content, which she says is a fitting place for someone like Kira. Vivziepop brings up the fact that Kira worked on a segment called Good Advice Cupcake and called Kira a C-word over this. Vivziepop says that she hates Kyra's guts and claims that Kyra has been talking about her behind her back. She doesn't support that claim at all and ends her sentence by saying that she could destroy Kyra. Vivziepop insults and even threatens an associate of hers in private simply because she was jealous. She already admitted that she felt petty over the fact that Kira was working for BuzzFeed, and even though Vivziepop did state that she was happy for Kira, her later sentences show that she was not happy about it at all. The next image shows Vivziepop bad-mouthing another person named Fable. Fable is the director of the indie series Lackadaisy. Vivziepop wants to warn Ashley Nichols, who is one of the creators of the Far-Fetched series, voices Lacey in Lackadaisy, and at that time was working with Vivziepop. For some reason, Vivziepop wants to warn Ashley about Fable because Vivziepop found them annoying, but I am unsure of what Vivziepop wanted to tell Ashley. This image comes from an unknown user. They explain that Vivziepop never intended on keeping the voice actors for Hazbin Hotel, except for Michael Kovac and Edward Bosco, even though Vivziepop has heavily implied that she would do everything to keep everyone. However, what's also revealed in this image is that Vivziepop fired them anyway because they were friends with the anonymous person. The anonymous person expresses their sadness by saying that they were sad that the entire cast of Hazbin Hotel got replaced. Personally, I don't know why Vivziepop replaced the pilot voice actors. I am sure A24 didn't replace them since A24 gives the people they work with creative freedom. And considering that it was the pilot cast that led to many people liking the Hazbin pilot, I'm pretty sure A24 would have kept the voice actors. This screenshot shows two former workers of Vivziepop, one of them being the YouTuber Joe Gran, who is the owner of the YouTube channel Uncle Joe. I am unaware of who the other person is, but both users expressed their regret while working on Hazbin Hotel. Joe says that he wasn't paid or treated well and that the fans annoyed him about the scheduling. Same goes with the user that replied. These are two people alongside many others who had bad experiences while working for Spindlehorse. It's pretty hard to believe that the many allegations towards Spindlehorse are false because so many people have had negative experiences. This image is of Vivziepop being transphobic. She questions why trans men want to be trans when they're feminists. She seems to be under the assumption that feminists hate men, when that's far from the truth. Vivziepop is mocking trans men just because they want to be feminist. Men can be feminist as well, not just women. I have no clue how she doesn't understand that. This image is Salem the Squitter describing what happened while they worked for Spindlehorse. Inconsistent work or payment, very little to no communication, no direction, misgendering, body shaming, bad-mouthing other indie shows, employees bad-mouthing one another, and work crunch for little to no pay. This is a simple summary of Salem's experience, but I do feel like they will elaborate about their experience at Spindlehorse in the future. However, what interests me the most is Spindlehorse bad-mouthing other indie shows. While doing some digging for that specifically, I found a screenshot of Hunter B., a storyboard revisionist for Hell of a Boss, saying that Lackadaisy and Farfetch'd can suck one because Hell of a Boss won a Streamy. I have no idea why Hunter even said that, since Lackadaisy is still a pilot with no official episode count, and Farfetch'd is still in development. Comparing an indie show with 2 seasons to 2 indie shows that are still in development is pretty unfair and childish. But what's even more interesting is that Lackadaisy and Spindlehorse have had a quarrel in the past. But that is a different can of worms that I will not be discussing. The final image I'm going to be going over is an image of 2 types of Elaster merchandise. The one on the left is an official enamel pin made by Spindlehorse, and the one on the right is a fan-made pin made by a Chinese artist. I believe this image suggests that Spindlehorse stole aspects of the fan-made design and used it to sell for merch. It's quite surprising that a company like Spindlehorse copied fan-made merchandise to make official merchandise. So what are my final thoughts on those images? Well, I am disappointed, and I believe Vivziepop should be called out and held accountable for this. There's no excuse for Vivziepop to be this hateful towards her associates and the people who work under her. Vivziepop is a grown woman, and she should know not to talk about others or treat people like shit. These people deserved better, and Vivziepop needs to be called out for this. But does this mean that you, the viewer, should drop Has-Been Hotel or Hell of a Boss because of this? Personally, I don't think you should. I believe in separating the art from the artist. I know I'm pretty harsh on Hell of a Boss and Has-Been Hotel, but I don't want my views on the shows to stop you all from watching and enjoying them. That's the last thing I want to do. You are allowed to appreciate the artist's work while not supporting the artist. Vivziepop isn't the only one who worked on Has-Been Hotel or Hell of a Boss. She created it, but many other people have worked hard on it as well, be it former employees or current employees. It's hard to believe that Vivziepop has changed since these images, since she has never apologized for them, or at the very least, never addressed them. Vivziepop just ignores them and seems to block or vague tweet those who criticize her. Then again, this is the same woman who liked a tweet calling, quote-unquote, Viv haters subhuman, which is all sorts of fucked up and extremely unprofessional. To all the Has-Been or Hell of a fans watching this video, don't let this video make you drop both shows. Enjoy the product, not the manufacturer. And to Vivziepop, I really hope you change as a person, but that's only for you to decide, whether you want to change to form better relationships or stay the same. Thank you all for watching this video, and I hope you all have a nice day.